Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope that you are all good. In today's video we're going to be doing some chrome stamping. So this video was requested a little while ago by one of my lovely nail tech friends and I have only just got around to doing it, so I hope you all enjoy watching. So before we jump into the chrome stamping, I want to do my gel polish bases and I want to do a little bit of gel polish nail art to go underneath that stamping just so it looked a little bit more fun. So as you can see, I'm using these three gorgeous colours from Kiki London. I do have a discount code for Kiki London which I'll leave in the description box below. So I went for Sage Green, Brick Lane and Ballet Charm for my nude. I wanted to keep these a little bit autumnal because I don't know if everyone's ready for the Christmas nail art just yet. I did ask on YouTube and Instagram and it was a little bit of a 50-50 mix. So I thought for this video, or for this rest of this week, we'll keep it with the autumn content, and then next week we'll start slowly easing into the Christmas nail art, as I feel as though my Instagram is already flooded with it. However, after picking these colours and starting this set, I realised that green and red is a little bit Christmassy, but to me these two particular shades do have a very autumn vibe to them. So I hope you enjoy the colour combination. Starting off, I am going to come in and do my first coat of colour, cure these for 30 seconds, then we're going to come in and do the second coat of colour, and then, like I said, a little bit of gel polish nail art before we jump into the chrome stamping. If you would prefer to just jump straight in and watch the chrome stamping, I'll leave a little timestamp in the corner of the video for you guys to know that when you can just skip forward to that if you would prefer. Now on to talking about the chrome stamping. So when I had the request, I actually ordered some of the Clear Jelly Stamper sticky polish because this is great for doing chrome stamping, stamping with foils, stamping with glitter, etc. So I thought I would order that for the video. However, they only had it in stock on the UK website in white, so I ordered it in the white. However, when using it, I didn't find as though the white popped very well with my chromes. My chromes just looked a little bit dull. A lot of the chromes I have, I always usually prefer them over a darker base because I feel as though it just gives off the chrome effect a lot better. So in today's video, rather than using the sticky polish, I actually use my regular stamping polish, which is just a black stamping polish, also from Clear Jelly Stamper. It's just not the sticky polish. Now the sticky polish worked great with the chromes, they just didn't pop as much as I wanted them to. So when I was playing around off camera with a little bit of trial and error, I thought I would reach for my regular polishes and give it a go with my regular stamping polishes, and it worked brilliantly. So if you don't have the sticky polish and you want to give chrome stamping a go, I definitely recommend giving it a go with whatever regular stamping polish you have. I have also used the sticky polish with some foils and sugared glitters as well, and the white sticky polish works brilliant for them. I just feel as though for chrome, a darker base works best. So I'm definitely going to give the black sticky polish a go whenever I place another order with Clear Jelly Stamper basically. But for now, in this video, we're using a regular stamping polish and it works brilliantly. Probably took me a lot longer than it needed to explain that, but I just wanted to get it out there in case you're watching the video and thinking, oh well, I don't have sticky polish. It doesn't matter. Back to the nail art. So as you can see, I've done my two first coats of gel polish and I'm just on two of the nails, coming in and creating two little sections. So on this nail, we're doing it with the Brick Lane, and I'm just basically straight line across the nail and sectioned off the bottom part of the nail. And then we're going to do a very similar with the Sage Green, but I went for more of a rounded effect rather than the straight across, just because I wanted to add a little bit of something extra to the nails. I didn't want them to look too plain and simple. I loved how this looked as well. I love how the two colours that I chose, so both the Brick Lane and the Sage Green, I love how they look against that Ballet Charm base. I just think it looks really, really pretty. Another thing that I also wanted to mention, of course, if you're doing any kind of gel polish nail art on yourself or a client, you will need to do all of your prep and base coat before you come in and start applying your gel polish, but I'm pretty sure you guys already know that. Now here, I'm using my stripe liner brush to create these nice, sharp, smooth lines. And I really love my stripe liner brush for this. It's my absolute go-to when I do any kind of gel polish nail art. So for me, it's definitely one of those must-have, highly recommended tools that I have in my kit. Let me know, guys, by the way, if you would like to see a video on my must-haves. I think it's been a little while since I've done one on my channel, and I've probably got quite a few new ones since I last did a video on that, but I think it could be quite fun to do and to share some of those with you. So here we have our gel polish bases. So let's jump in to the chrome stamping. So to chrome stamp, you need to be working on top of a matte surface. So obviously when you've done gel polish, it leaves a tacky surface. So you need to come in and make that tacky surface matte. So I'm going to take my Kiki London No White matte top coat and apply a thin layer of this to all of the nails. Now, if you was doing chrome stamping on top of acrylic, for example, that dries with a matte surface already, especially after you've filed and buffed it. So you wouldn't need to come in and apply your matte top coat. So because I'm working on gel polish, I need a matte surface. So that's why I'm using the matte top coat. So I'm going to apply a thin coat of this to all of the nails, and then we're going to pop this in to cure for 30 seconds. And then when I was playing around with a little bit of trial and error, like I said off camera, I found that giving the nails a quick buff with a 180 grit buffer really helped stop my chrome sticking to areas where you don't want it to stick. So this is why you need a matte surface, because chrome will cling on to anything shiny or anything tacky. So you want to make sure that you've got a complete matte surface to work on top of. So I'm just taking the 180 grit side of my Kiki London buffer and just gently buffing over the surface. And then once we have done this, we do need to make sure we remove that dust that has been created from buffing. So I'm just going to take my Kiki London dusty brush and give the nails a good rub over. As you see, one went fly in there. So I'm just giving them a good rub, and then you can see we've got a nice clean matte surface. Now for chrome stamping, you are going to need two stampers or two stamper heads. So here, for example, I have the clear jelly stamper Big Bling, which actually has two stamper heads with it when you purchase it. So I'm going to use one for my stamping and one for my chrome. And then you are going to need some stamping plates, obviously. So I've got two here from Miss Lucy UK. And then you're going to need some stamping polish. For chrome, personally, I would recommend black. So I've got my black CJS stamping polish. And then, of course, you're going to need some chromes. So I've got two here. One from Born Pretty, which is that gorgeous gold shade. And then this pink one, I don't have a clue where that's from, so I can't let you guys know. But I think it's a cheaper one that I picked up from somewhere like eBay, because it doesn't have any brand sticker on there. And then you're just going to need one of these little applicators to apply your chrome. So you're going to apply your chrome to one of your stamper heads. Now I find a generous amount works best, and it works best if you give it a good little rub in. So just taking a small amount at a time, I'm just rubbing it in to the center of the nail, the center of the stamper. You don't need to cover your whole stamping head, because that's just going to be wasting the chrome. Like even here, I'm using quite a bit more than what's needed. You only really need it where you're picking up your image, but I found it easier to have a little bit more around there, because this isn't going to be a stamp that I'm going to be able to look through, because it's got the sparkly end. So it works better to have a decent amount on there, so you know where you're picking up where you're placing down your chrome. Little bit confused there. So then we're going to come in and we're going to basically stamp as normal. So I'm picking out my image on my stamping plate. I have already given this plate a good clean with some acetone, and then I'm going to take my stamping polish and apply a generous amount of it to my stamper. Then we're going to scrape away that excess, and then just with a quick flick of the wrist and a roll across that stamping plate, we've picked up our image. Now I've left this first now in real time, just so you guys can see how quick I'm working, because you do need to work fairly quick with the chrome stamping. So once I've picked that image up, I'm going to look through my stamper and place it down where I want it to go on the nail. Just give it a little rock and roll, and then I'm going to pull my stamper off, and then I'm immediately going to come in with my chrome and do exactly the same. Press down, rock and roll, and then pull off. And then I like to just go over it a few more times just to make sure that image has fully covered in the chrome. And as you can see, it's stuck brilliantly to the stamping polish. I then left it for a few seconds just to make sure that stamping polish was fully dry, and then taking my dusty brush, I'm going to give it a really good rub to remove all that excess chrome, because as you can see, a little bit did transfer to the nail. Then taking a cotton bud and a little bit of acetone, I'm just going to clean any excess chrome off the nail. So I did play around with so many different techniques to try to find ways to get minimal chrome transferring where you don't want it to transfer, and this technique was how I found best anyway. Good scrub with a soft brush. You don't want to be dusting over it or scrubbing the chrome with a harsh brush, because it will remove the chrome, and then just cleaning up with a little bit of acetone. Then I'm going to pop that aside, and we will top coat to seal all of that in further along in the video, because I thought it'd be easier to top coat all the nails together at the end. So let's do some more chrome stamping on the next nail. So again, I've got my nail ready to go. I'm applying my stamping polish, scraping off the excess. I always hate working on the ends of stamping plates because I always find it harder to scrape for some reason. So as you see there, I had to do a couple of scrapes to get rid of that excess stamping polish. Then I'm going to look through my stamper, press down a quick wriggle from left to right, and then again coming in with that same stamper with the gold chrome on it and just rubbing over it. I didn't add any additional chrome. I felt as though there was already enough on my stamper head, but if you do feel as though you need a little bit more, then of course just add a little bit more before you start your stamping, because once you place down your stamping polish and pick up that image, you need to be quick because the stamping polish dries quickly. And if the stamping polish fully dries on the nail, you're not going to be able to transfer the chrome because there won't be no tackiness for the chrome to grab onto. So then again, same as before, I'm just very carefully cleaning up with some acetone. You could do this with a nail art brush as well, but I do quite like doing it with a cotton bud because I just feel as though you're covering a bigger surface of the nail quicker. So I'm going to give this stamping plate a good clean, and as you see here, I am using two different stamping plates from Miss Lucy. I'm using the winter foliage one and the autumn leaves one. So once I've cleaned up my stamper and stamping scraper, I want to give this stamper head a clean because we're going to be switching to the other colour chrome. So just using a lint roller, I'm going to keep rolling my stamper head over it until it removes all of that chrome, and as you can see, it removed it really easily. Personally, I would keep a second stamper that you save just for chrome or nail art, just because I think over time it will ruin your stamper head a lot quicker than what stamping polish would. So it would be beneficial to have maybe an older stamper that you can just keep for your chrome application. Now this particular chrome did look a little bit of a lesser good quality than the Born Pretty one, so I wasn't 100% sure how it was going to transfer, just because the chrome itself looked a little bit more sheer compared to the other one, but I was pleasantly surprised. It still stamped really pretty. So again, I've picked up my image, just removing any excess that you don't want to stamp down with my lint roller. That's another thing that you want to bear in mind. Only stamp down the image that you want to make chrome. So any excess image that you've picked up, you need to remove that from your stamper before you press it down onto your nail. Then once we've got the image down, we're coming straight in with that chrome, pressing it down quite firmly, and then I like to just dab over it just to make sure enough has fully transferred. I'm going to wait a couple of seconds just to make sure that stamping polish is fully dried. Take my soft brush and give it a really good rub, and it easily removes, I'd say, 90% of that chrome. In some cases, you might not even need to come in with the acetone and clean up. But here I just like to make sure, because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I like to make sure I've got rid of as much as possible. Of course, you need to be really careful that you don't take the acetone over your chrome image, as it will remove it. And then that's another nail done, ready to be top coated. By the way, thank you so much for the suggestion to do a video on chrome stamping, because it pushed me to finally give it a go and have a play around doing it. And I have to say, I absolutely love it. It's definitely going to be a technique that I'm going to include in a lot more of my designs, especially during Christmas, because I have some beautiful red and gold chromes. And of course, shiny stuff works perfectly at Christmas time, so I'm really looking forward to doing this technique a lot more. Now on this I'm going to add in two images. So I'm stamping down the first one and then coming straight in with my chrome. You don't want to stamp down the second image and then come in with your chrome, because the first image will be drying. So I'm going to just treat it as two separate images. stamp down the first, clean up my plate, and then stamp down the first, apply my chrome, and then clean up the plate. You need to make sure you're giving it a good clean before you come in with your next image, just to make sure that image that you're going to be working with is nice and clean. Then I'm going to give it a dust off, but I'm not going to come in and clean with the acetone because we're going to be applying a second image down anyway. But here I was really surprised, the dusty brush removed a lot of that chrome anyway, so it doesn't necessarily even need going over with the acetone. So then we're going to come in and just apply a second little leaf here. I'm just going to remove that excess beforehand. And then looking at this image, I wasn't 100% happy with it. It hadn't picked up perfectly. So I decided to remove it and start again. Basically, if you're ever not happy with an image, it's better to just remove it from your stamper and start again, rather than press it down on the nail and then have to remove it from the nail. So if you're looking at it and you're just not 100% happy, in my personal opinion, just get rid and start again. So here we go again. We've picked up this second little leaf, and I'm going to place this down more towards the tip of the nail, and then we're going to come in again and apply our chrome. So I had a lot of fun doing this technique. It's not something I've had lots of practice with, and I definitely will have another go with the sticky polish and see if I can do a video doing that, because I know that was the original request. I just wasn't 100% happy with how the chrome looked over the white sticky polish. I'll try and get a video though using the foils with the white sticky polish and share that with you guys. But if you have any questions, if you are struggling with anything to do with stamping, let me know in the comments below, and I'll always be happy to help. I do of course hope you found this video helpful. So this is what the design looks like now. Now we need to come in and top coat. So I'm going to top coat using my Kiki London no wipe top coat. Now when it comes to working with any kind of chrome nail art, it's always better to have a separate top coat, because chrome does tend to end up with a few particles sticking in your brush. And then what happens is you contaminate that particular bottle of top coat, and then if you go to top coat over a plain set of nails, you might end up with a shimmery effect to them. So I like to keep a separate bottle of top coat that I will use for glitters and chromes and things like that. Now of course, if you would prefer, I would personally usually use a no wipe rubber top coat and over any kind of stamping or chrome nail art, just because it's a little bit thicker and offers a little bit more durability, especially when you're working on yourself for a client. But I didn't have a spare bottle of no wipe rubber top coat, and I didn't want to contaminate my main one with my chrome, so I just opted for the no wipe one here. And as you can see though, it does give off an absolutely beautiful shine. So there we are at the end of today's video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, then please do give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment below. And if you aren't already subscribed, I would absolutely love it if you hit that subscription button, and I shall then see you all again in the next video. I hope you're all having a wonderful week. Lots of love. Take care. Bye bye.